everyone doing this evening? As you can tell, I look like a wet dog because I just got out of work and it was pouring down rain. I do have a guest tonight to share her story. It's Stitching, Bitching, and True Crime. But before I let her have the floor, I do need to say a few things. I don't know if you guys have seen in the chat. Guys, due to the sensitive nature of my channel, I do tend to do shout outs at the end of my videos. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I see every one of the comments posted in the chat. I just like to give the floor to my guest. Also, another thing is, as far as the Cash Apps, anytime I have a guest, I always allow I ask for their Cash Apps because I feel like if they're going to share a piece of themselves, then the least I can do is show their Cash App so that if anybody feels the need to donate to them, they have every right to. It doesn't go to me. It's their Cash App. It's right there in my scroll. Donations are always appreciated, but they're never expected on this channel. I just feel like, I just feel that way. And it's not that I expect this from you guys. It's never any of that. I'm just grateful for anything. And also, I just wanted to clarify another thing. If you guys do send me Cash Apps, it will go directly into my pocket and for this channel or for whatever I deem it necessary. I just want to be 100% with you guys. I'm not about putting on a front. And I'm not ever going to be that way. Hello, Cher. It's good to see you, Miss Robin, Mad Hatter, Prissy, White Rabbit, Sipping on Fire. All you guys, I will do shout outs at the end. Like I said, I didn't want to take up any more time because Stitching's story is a story I believe that a lot of people can relate to. And if you can't, we can all pray for, right? So, hello, Miss Stitching. How are you today?
I am peachy. And like I said, I've sat there and wrote down my stories so that way I had it in front of me, and so I wouldn't forget some things and stuff I want to say. So if you're ready for me to go ahead and start, I will.
Absolutely. You've got the floor.
Alrighty. I was born in 1980. My family was poor. My dad was married 4 times before he married my mother. He had 2 boys and a girl from the other marriages. My mom had been married 1 time before and had a girl from the other marriage. And then they had me and my little sister. So there were big age gaps. We all got along. We were all really, even though there's the age gaps, we were close. We were a family.
Right.
At the age of 7, one of my older brothers started SAing me. And so was one of my dad's friend's grandsons. With my brother, it lasted till I was 14 years old, and I told on him, and he was told not to come around anymore. My father's friend's grandson, it was just for a little while, and he wound up going into the system. But my family was always there for me, even my brother who was told not to come around anymore. At the age of 15, my older sister had a friend who SA'd me till I quit going around her. I never told her why. So at the age of 17, I was dating a guy, and of course, stuff happens. Well, they thought I was pregnant, and I wasn't. I had cancer. I kept telling my family. I knew I had cancer. Finally, my first doctor's appointment came, and they didn't have a heartbeat. So they sent me for an ultrasound. And at that point in time, they found out it was cancer. How do I say that? I don't know how to say this. The doctor did the physical exam. He broke my hymen, the part that, women lose. He broke my virginity,
Right.
basically.
Right.
So he was like, "This, there's no way. There's a baby. There's no way." So they wound up sending me to Oklahoma to OU Medical Center, and it was supposed to be a quick DNC in and out same day thing to remove the cancer because, like I said, it grew in the uterus like a baby. Um, and I kept telling like I said, I kept telling my family I knew I wasn't pregnant. I knew it. Something inside me told me I wasn't. I just, you know, so at that point in time, they removed it, and then they pushed too much air into my lungs to bring me out of the medications that they put me under with, which made my lungs collapse. I spent 31 days in ICU in a drug-induced coma, and told my family I was not, and they told my family I was not going to make it. And if they believed in prayer, to start praying for me. My family had people all around the world praying for me. So, and I'm here today. So, I do believe in power of prayer. God hears and he sends answers. So moving forward, I was 19 years old. I moved in with my oldest son's dad. Um, we got along great for 3 years. And all of a sudden, one day he snapped and he started yelling at me and telling me how bad I was and how horrible I was. So I left, and we wound up going back together once. It didn't work. I wanted to be with him because he was my father's child, or, the father of my child. So at that point in time, I moved back in with my parents. At 24, I got married to a guy. It only lasted 7 months till he hit me. So I left him. At that point in time, my son was taken from me and placed in care of his father because they considered him endangered because I was with the guy. Well, I left. I didn't stay. I went back home. I did what my instincts was go back to my mom and dad, go back to where I'm protected. 7 months. That really hit hard for me. So I got remarried at 27. I had 3 kids. I had a girl and a boy with 2 different guys who were very, very close. At the time, we were best friends. One of them, I'm still best friends with his sister, to the point where, me and her know where each other are, what's going on, very, very close. My daughter's autistic. My son is bipolar at that point in time. And I wound up moving in with the guy that I married at 27. And we wound up moving in with his mom because, well, we were living in my mother's house, and my mom decided that she wanted to come back home because she had to live with my little sister up in Oklahoma City. So, we moved in with his mom, to help her out since she was raising his daughter, a daughter I wound up adopting later on. We had been married for 7 years. We didn't have any kids. I had 15 miscarriages while I was with him and 1 stillbirth. I was told I would never have another child. And so therefore I, left. I got a job truck driving, and we were OTR, over the road. We were never at one spot for very long. It was great. 7 years with him, the kids were being taken care of, everything was great. Well, one day he snapped. He started yelling at me, screaming at me, and he hit me. And when he hit me, I hit back. I was like, oh no, I'm 20. This time I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to sit here and take this from anybody. So I stood up for myself. I hit back. No, I don't think it was right at the time. Now I look back and it wasn't right. I should have just walked away. Well, when I did so, he decided to stab me twice. And I would have been dead if it wasn't for 2 friends of mine that were also in California to pick up at the same distribution center that we were. So we were stopped at the same truck stop. I went to them, told them, I had been messaging them, telling them, our location compared to their location, so we could meet up. We And we get there and they see the blood and they ask me what had happened. And I told them, and they literally took me in their truck and they left that truck stop. And I went back, they drove me to Arizona, which was where a good friend of mine lived. I moved in with her. She was pregnant at the time with twins. She and me now don't talk because she took my trust and turned it against me because I flipped out. I I don't know how to explain it. I lost everything when I left him because his mother has my daughter. Well, both my daughters. And I don't get to see them. I don't get any type of contact with them. And I love both of them to death. His mother won't let me anywhere near him. It's been a bad situation. Well, so she betrayed my trust. She told him where I was at. And he started calling and threatening me. And I like I said, I snapped. I threatened to kill myself. She called 911. Cops came. They took me to mental health, went in there, told them what was going on, told them what had happened. They saw the bruises. They saw the stab marks. At that point in time, they told me I had battered wife syndrome, along with PTSD because of what my brother and the other kid did to me when I was a kid. And I will sit here and tell you to this day, I loved my daddy to death. I have pictures of me sitting in my daddy's lap in a bathing suit on my Facebook wall. My dad was my world. He died in 07 before this happened. My mom's still alive. She still lives with my little sister. And when I say that, they get into arguments and she'll call me crying. Me and her can get into an argument, not a problem. She's over it. So I was my dad's girl. My sister was my mom's girl type thing. I followed my daddy around like a puppy dog growing up. He'd be out there working on a car. Guess where I was at? I was out there working on a car with him. He'd be out in the garden, messing with the garden. I'd be down in the garden with him. So, when he passed, I guess that's whenever the PTSD got triggered. Really and truly, I think that's when it happened because after that, like I said, I married the guy, was with him for 7 years, and he snapped. Finally, I left him in 2013. In 2018, I finally had enough guts to meet up with him and sign the divorce decree so we could get our divorce done. To this day, he doesn't know where I am. I don't want him to know where I am. His aunt knows where I am. Me and his aunt are still best friends. He could never, there's nothing he could ever do to make up for what he did in my eyes. No, I don't see myself as a victim. I see myself as a survivor. And I stand behind that 100%. Never touched drugs through all this. No drugs were ever touched. I don't even drink. Now, I am going to say, when I say I use medical, I have my medical card here in Oklahoma. And that's the only thing I've ever done is smoke weed. And I'm very proud of myself for that. Because, I hear all these stories of how they've turned to drugs. And I'm like, I never turned to the drugs. I turned to weed to fix my problems, to make me feel better. I have been diagnosed with, I now have a son who is now a 9. Or 8, sorry. They told me I'd never have kids. I wound up having another little boy. He's my pride and joy. At that point in time, they did find out that I have lupus, fibromyalgia, and like I said, I had the battered wife syndrome and PTSD. I think the weed is what keeps me level. I don't get, it helps with the anxiety. It helps with a lot of things with me. Because at this point in time, I don't know what I'd do without it. The pain I stay in without it versus the pain that I'm in with it, I can tell a major difference. Like, I hurt all the time from the fibromyalgia, and I'm on medication for it, and I still hurt. I don't want to I don't like my clothes touching me. It's bad. But that's pretty much like the story of my life. I mean, my daughter's autistic, my son's bipolar, my 7-year-old is normal. He's a normal 7-year-old little boy who, yeah, 8, sorry. He just corrected me. But he's all there, and he's all boy. I'll put it that way to you guys.
Yeah.
He just turned
Yes.
7 last month on the 7th. While I was pregnant with him, he was a twin. I lost his twin while I was pregnant. And I always wondered, what could have been. The other ones don't bother me. That one bothers me, of what could have been. Would he have been happier with his sister with him? Would he have been happier if this happened? Would he have been happier if that would have happened? And I'm more worried about him than myself, because he is being raised as a single child right now due to everything that's happened.
Right.
That's basically all there is to me. I started my YouTube page after watching YouTube, watching certain people, which one of them, and I have to say, is my friend Edward Denzel. He is like the best to me. Me and him always been very, very close. Matter of fact, anytime I have a question, that's the first person I message. Hey, what should I do about this? How do I move this forward? I've been calling with my YouTube. I've been calling, I call the cops and, try to get a hold of whoever's in charge of the case. That's what's taken so long with me with some of my cases. And the reason why I hadn't had anything up is I was waiting for callbacks, to let me know, is there any updates that I can put out there on this case or on that case? I don't just do missing people. I do all cold cases. Murder, missing, it doesn't matter. Everyone deserves justice.
Absolutely.
One in particular is the Molly Miller case, which I've been following. Do what?
Oh no,
Did I do something wrong?
No, no,
Okay.
no. I was agreeing. No, I was agreeing with you, and was going to read Ronnie's comment. Can you see that? I just put it up on screen. She says, "I swear you're telling 95% of my story." So there's people that really do connect with your story, and you're such a brave woman. You're such a brave woman and strong. You were definitely warrior strong. Um, and I'm glad that you told, like, please continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, I was just going to say there's one case that I won't broadcast, but if you guys want to look into it, it's the Molly Miller and Colt Hayes case. And the reason why is that man, one of the people involved, and this hurts, and it's going to make me cry, was very, very close to me. He was the sheriff of Love County at the time, who is kin to the people who are suspects in that case. They have still yet to find Molly Miller and Colt Hayes. Yet he he helped with it. But yet that same man walked into a house and picked up one of my children when I was in another abusive relationship, picked up one of my children and walked out knowing that there was guns in that house. So, that case really, really hurts. And that's why I won't cover it. I have respect for the man that he was, not the man that he is now. And it makes me go, could have I been a victim? Could have I been a victim that wouldn't be here today because of the stuff that he did? In the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, could have I been the same victim? Because they had done me the same way. It scares the living bejeebies out of me. Needless to say, I mean, I knew him differently than what is being put out there now about the man. So it just really, really, I don't know. It bothers me.
Right, right, absolutely. Wow, I mean, I've read your story, but hearing you verbalize it, it takes on a different dimension. like I said, you're definitely warrior strong. Guys, if you have not subbed up to her channel, I do believe Chrissy put her link in the chat. Please go sub up to her. Let's show her some love. This is a strong warrior fighting for victims and trying to be a victim's advocate. And we need more of those here on YouTube. Yes, Mad Hatter, we are warrior strong. Um, absolutely. Um, and yeah, everybody's just showing you love in the. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, I went over to the chat. Thank you guys. Love all of you. White Rabbit, love you. Maple, love you. You know, you guys have always been there when I'm in any of y'all's. You know, I always see you guys. There's always a hi, and you know, there's always that there. You know, I never hear anything negative from any of you guys. It makes my heart full. You know, it makes me feel like, you know what, I may not have friends, you know, like most people do. My friends are on the internet. I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way I look at most of you guys. Is you guys are friends. You guys are family. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And Lucia, I do believe that White Rabbit just put her link in the chat. I'm sorry, I was over here trying to look, but
Yeah, I think White
I
Rabbit just
think
posted it, guys.
yeah, yeah. We you know, as women here on YouTube, we absolutely have to support one another. Um, I hate this woman on woman crime here on YouTube. Um, you know, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I just want us to
I
support each
wish the
other.
whole True Crime family could. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I wish
Yeah,
the whole True Crime family could come together as one instead of constantly fighting and beating each other up, running each other down. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. Could you imagine how much more you would get done, or any of you guys would get done if you had like a brainstorming session with multiple
Exactly.
channels? Like, oh my gosh, you guys could move mountains.
Exactly. Exactly.
I like what Rabbit said. Where one biatch goes, we all go. Absolutely, we all should support each other. You know, and I'm all for anybody who wants to start a channel. If I've got knowledge, I'll share it with you. I'm not opposed to doing that. I believe that that's how it should be. We all have to start somewhere, and we all need to support each other. Point blank and period. And stitching and any guests that I have on, yes, absolutely. You're definitely warrior strong. Is there anything else that you would like to say, or you
Um,
want to take some questions, or
yeah, I'll take some questions if they want to ask questions.
okay. If anybody's got any questions for stitching, I'll put them up and hopefully well, she said she could see the chat, so
Yeah, I can see some chat, so I'm looking, and
hey, tattoos and unicorns, I'm glad you made it.
Ella, you are so welcome.
Yes, and I agree, White Rabbit. We absolutely need to hold each other accountable to stay on track. And you've done that with me 100. You've done that with me quite a lot, and I appreciate that.
Well, the
I'd have
one that
probably been
holds
down a
me,
rabbit hole.
well, see, I have to say, the one that makes me go, yo, you need to move forward is one of your fans, and that is Arctic Fox. You know, me and him have gotten close this summer.
He's a good
He,
guy.
if I get depressed and I'm like really, really down, I have called him and been like, hey, look, I don't know what to do. I'm losing it over here. I'm going psychotic. Push me away from it.
Right.
Push me off that
Rabbit
edge.
asks, right. And Rabbit asks you, what's your happiest memory, Stitching?
My happiest memory is of me and my dad out fishing right before he passed. A year before he passed, me and him went fishing and spending that day with him and knowing I'm never going to get it back, is probably my happiest memory. As a
Lucia, I'm
child,
trying to find your question.
my happiest memory was whenever my dad found his brother that he didn't know was his brother, and finding out that he was adopted as a child. His dad was his dad, but his mom wasn't, type deal. Long story. She had just had a miscarriage right before my dad was born, like a month before. And my dad's dad brought my dad to her. So my grandfather took my dad to her. And then we found out the true story. That was like the best. It was the biggest relief I remember, because I remember thinking, oh my God, we don't have to worry about this anymore. We don't have to worry about that anymore, because now we're Native American. And as a
Yes,
child,
and
I carried a lot of worry. I carried a lot of fear. Even though we owned our property and our house, I was always, were we going to have electricity from one day to the next type thing.
right. And
You know.
Kindness and Grace is sending you a virtual hug. Um,
Aw. So my son wants to say hi, and I try to keep him off YouTube, but I think I'm going to go ahead and let him do it, because this is a...
it's a safe space here. Nobody here usually
Go ahead.
attacks anybody. So.
Hi. Let me tell you a fun fact. Did you know that basically the Ant Queen, her babies are actually her troops?
Oh wow,
For people
that's
that
pretty
didn't
cool.
know that.
Well, I didn't know that, and I'm glad that you educated me on that. That is absolutely amazing.
I will let you guys know with my little man. He is, like I said, he's 8. He took his end of school test because he's homeschooled, and so the teacher has to sit down and give him a test. He scored 3rd grade reading and 4th grade math.
Wow. Yeah, he's super smart. I've heard him on phone calls. He's definitely a smart kid. Makes me yearn for my grandbabies.
Well,
Yeah,
he's always hyper. Like I said, he's a normal little boy. I'm not used to normal, if that makes any sense. With my other children, he's normal. It's like, just stop, stop being normal for one day, type thing. Because I'm just looking at him going, really? So he's my... I say he's my miracle, because like I said, I lost a sister and I carried him, and he came and he's been there. He's been my... I stand up for him no matter what, and he's the same with me. He hears me and his stepdad arguing, and he steps in the middle, stop arguing, don't do my mommy that way. So it's one of those, I love him to death. I try not to argue around him. I try to send him outside, but now that we're at the RV park, it's kind of hard to do without going outside with him, because that's kind of one of the rules until they're 8 years old. I'm like, he's 8. He's old enough to be out here by himself. Come on. Give me a break, people.
right. He's definitely smart. And TT says, "Okay, little man, we're going to need weekly updates on all these weird and magnificent." I like that.
All right, I will
That's
let
so
him.
cute.
I think I'll do that weekly then. Okay, guys, I hate to break, but I'm going to have to get off here. I told days before I came on that I had a friend of mine that's supposed to be getting my medical supplies, and she's on her way. So I need to jump off and go deal with that. I hate being that way. I love all of you. And I got to say, if you see something, say something.
Amen.
Again.
That's my big motto, is if you see something, say something. That's the only way, this world's ever going to make it anymore, is, we got to watch out for one another.
I really hope summer comes home.
Oh, did you hear my son?
Yes, that's so cute. That's out of the mouth of babes, right?
Yep, and he has been following this case hard. every single time I hear something about Summer, I'll let him know. And it's like, this is what's going on. And so, the whole essay thing with Summer really bothers me. The whole Dawn situation, my dad, and some of those pictures, the same way Summer's kind of hurts. And it hurts.
Right. Well, honey, if you have to go, it's quite all right. Thank you for sharing your story on my channel. I absolutely, I'm already subbed up to you. I think I subbed up to you a while ago.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely be looking forward to your videos.
Yeah, well, guys, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to keep messing with the cop thing, trying to get, updates on these cases, or if I'm just going to go ahead and just plow through them and call it good. Now, I do a live most of the time on Fridays on my Facebook page, which is Stitching, Bitching, and True Crime as well.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. So, I love you guys. I'm here.
All right. Well, you have a good evening, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. See you on these streets. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm going to scroll up and do a little roll call now, and just acknowledge everybody that was here, or try to acknowledge everybody that was here. Prissy, Anissa, Mad Hatter, 2675. I'm scrolling down because we talked a minute before the live was even live. Kim Maple Syrup, you know I love you. Mouse for you to envy, thank you for being here. Be here. White Rabbit, always sister, thank you for being here. Janica, thank you for being here. And if I say your name twice, I'm sorry. It's just because I can't remember. You don't know me. Thank you for being here. This is the first time I've actually seen you in my chat. Which, I mean, sometimes I don't pay attention, and I'll be the first to tell you, but I love all of y'all. I absolutely adore all of y'all, and I try to pay attention to everybody that comes in here. Sipping on Fire, thank you for being here. Miss Robin, thank you for being here. Ellen, thank you, Mama. Oppositional Effect. Cher, thank you for being here as always. Trying to hit Hippie Grandma, thank you for being here. Music City Mom 2, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure. Pendar, thank you. Thank you for being here. I love and adore all of you guys. Mama, thank you for being here. B, thank you for being here. Raylaw, thank you for being here. Miss Robin, I think I already said your name, but thank you for being here. Mayor, thank you for being here. Kindness and Grace, thank you so much for being here. Red's Paradise, thank you for being here. BDAC, thank you for being here. Empress Neuro, you know I love you. Thank you for being here. Lucia Williamson, thank you for being here. Just scrolling through the chat here. See if I see. Dreamboat Annie, thank you for being here. Ronnie for Missing Persons PNW, thank you for being here. I keep seeing my name. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't call out my own name, right? Days, thank you for being here. That's so corny. Kindness and Grace, thank you for being here. TT, thank you for being here. Checking Convictions, thank you for being here. Anissa, thank you for being here. Tattoos and Unicorns, thank you, lovely, for being here. Fuzzy B, thank you for being here. All you guys, thank you so much for being here. All right, guys, I'm going to end. And Benny B, thank you, sliding in at the last minute. I see your comment. Guys, I always end my lives. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody, and I don't think I did. I always try to end my lives with a little bit of kindness. We're never promised tomorrow, so reach out to a loved one you haven't talked to in a while. Let them know you still care. Smile at a stranger. They'll either think you're crazy or they'll smile back. To me, that's a win-win, right? It's a win-win either way. Guys, love one another. Remember, hashtag White Heart Movement, White Heart Nation. Any chat you go in, display the white hearts. They know you come in peace. We got to start supporting each other. We absolutely do. This just hunting each other down, it's obnoxious. Personally, in my opinion, it's obnoxious. We're all adults. We should act like it. And the woman on woman crime, it's got to stop. We got to start supporting our fellow sisters. This life's too hard and it's too rough to go through trying to fight and claw your way to the top. We have to do that out in the real world. We shouldn't have to do that on YouTube. All right, guys, enough preaching. I'm going to get off here before I get on a roll, right? Guys, I love you guys. Let's spread some peace on these YouTube streets. Bye.